cool art for you tonight from the Clovis Elementary students.
A red flag warning is in effect for New Mexico. More on My First Weather.
Have you been in the mood for a good opera to watch? Then head on down to Buchanan Hall this Saturday for a genuine Italian opera showing. That and more news right now.
This is News 3 New Mexico, your local source for news, sports, and first weather.
Good evening and welcome to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Thomas Mariscal.
And I'm Drake Long. Thank you so much for watching.
The Clovis Police Department was dispatched to a home on Axtell Street last night for a complaint about a subject with a weapon. On arrival, officers contacted a 17-year-old juvenile female who explained to officers that her ex-boyfriend entered the house uninvited and threatened the female, saying she better not have another man around their child. Eventually, the argument escalated to yelling, and the mother of the female came down, who made the man leave. As he left, they reported hearing a gunshot. The man was not immediately found, so an emergency arrest warrant was applied for and then approved. The juvenile male was located, taken into custody, and then transported to a juvenile detention center in Farmington, New Mexico. He's being booked for aggravated burglary, aggravated battery against a household member, abandonment or abuse of a child, shooting at a dwelling or occupied building, aggravated assault against a household member, and unlawful possession of a handgun by a person.
Early Wednesday morning, the Clovis Police Department was dispatched to the Hilltop Bottle Shop in Clovis. They arrived on scene and found a busted window, and after a search of the area, they detained 2 suspects. The 2 had a bag containing various vapes and alcohol. They were then arrested and taken to the Clovis Police Department for questioning. The first suspect was Latravion Frahofer, aged 18, from Clovis, New Mexico. On arrival, a detective was requested to take over the investigation, and during questioning, Fraunhofer admitted to breaking in, as well as admitting that he had done the same thing just months prior in September of 2024. Fraunhofer was admitted to the Curry County Adult Detention Center and booked on charges of burglary, conspiracy to commit burglary, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and criminal damages of less than $1,000. Charges have not yet been filed for the incident in September. The second male was identified as a juvenile runaway from Amarillo, Texas. He was also arrested and transported to the Lee County Juvenile Detention Center, where he has been charged with burglary, conspiracy to commit burglary, criminal damage, and resisting, eluding, and evading police.
The Carlsbad Police Department is saying goodbye and thank you to one of its most adorable officers that they have. Meet PSC Echo. This Belgian Malinois was born on May 27th in 2020. He was raised in Mexico City and then trained in Little Rock before finally joining the Carlsbad Police Department in March of 2022. PSC Echo has worked tirelessly throughout his career, being assigned to Corporal G. Hendon and Corporal T. Thompson. Throughout his career, he has conducted numerous sniffs that resulted in either a search warrant and or violent criminal apprehension, and he holds an impressive record. He has found 150 grams of fentanyl, 25.48 grams of heroin, 109.14 grams of methamphetamine, garnered 20 search warrants, found and recovered 10 pieces of evidence, aided in the arrest of 10 violent criminals, was deployed for handler or citizen protection 73 times, and was deployed for a sniff 329 times. Echo was forced into retirement due to medical issues, but he will retire and live his best life with a former handler. Thank you so much for your service, PSC Echo, and you will be greatly missed. Well, it is finally spring, and it is feeling like summer.
It really is. I mean, the temperatures just keep getting hotter and hotter, and personally, I don't like it because I hate the hot weather.
Do you think that hot weather will kind of persist over the week? Or?
Oh, yeah. It's going to get even worse. And actually, right now, we're in a red flag warning.
Oh.
Speaking about that, it's nearer to central New Mexico than it is to eastern New Mexico, but it's still important that we talk about it. The red flag warning will be in effect from 12 to 8 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. It will be in the east of Sangre de Cristo, as well as the Sandia and Manzano Mountains. It will as well be across the west central basin. Something to be aware of is that this is just a warning. We're just watching, seeing what's going to happen, and we will continue to monitor it and warn you if anything does happen from it. But do be aware that this doesn't mean that a fire will start, nor does it mean that a fire won't start. So be aware of brush that may be near your house, clean it up, as well as having an evacuation plan. That is all I have for now, but I will speak more about it tonight. Back to you, Drake.
Thank you, Lainey. Art is a core subject in elementaries across the state of New Mexico. Here in the Eastern Plains, students enrolled in kindergarten through 8th grade had a chance to show off their art to the community at the It's Elementary art show at the Clovis Community College. News 3 attended the showing and interviewed teachers, as well as a student, about their art and what it means to them.
To simplify, like your concept of art has to go like really like simplified for the kids in order for you to teach them. We set up a PowerPoint, show them what we're going to learn today, and then we teach the lesson.
I think I'd like to highlight this piece right here. This student here, she this is one we did with our virtual art lesson, and I was inspired when I drove to Portales to go see my mom, and one of her neighbors out in the country had a mare and a colt, and I thought, well, that would be a really neat art lesson for our students, and I incorporated the primary colors and using a neutral color and showed them how to do that virtually, and she really liked that one, and she actually has this piece and another piece, and so.
I would say the penguins over there in that corner, I really like those. I think they did an amazing job, really good line control with the brush, especially for first and K. I really like them. They did them in the winter for like Christmas time, so it was a cute theme that we did.
The teacher told us to make it.
To make it? Or do you like making it?
Yes.
Do you really like art?
Yes.
If you missed this art show and wanted to see the art created by the students, don't worry. Some of the pieces from that show will soon be on display here at the ENMU Portales campus. The K through ENMU art show will open next Monday, March 31st in the Runnels Art Gallery, located at the Golden Student Success Center.
The Reno Air Racing Association has expanded their scholarship program with the new Airframe and Power Plant Scholarship at Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. The scholarship is designed for students who are enrolled in the FAA Part 147 Aviation Maintenance Technology program at ENMU Roswell, the only one of its kind in southeast New Mexico. It will provide financial assistance covering tuition, tooling, supplies, and testing fees up to $10,000 per student. The scholarship is open to Chavez County and southeastern New Mexico residents who maintain a minimum of 3.0 GPA and an 80% attendance throughout the program. To learn more information about RA's scholarship programs, you can visit www.airrace.org, and to learn more about ENMU Roswell's Aviation Maintenance Technology program, you can visit www.roswell.enmu.edu.
The Lee County Board of County Commissioners have approved funding to install a Safe Haven baby box at Fire Station Number 2 in Lovington. A Safe Haven baby box is designed to prevent infant abandonment and to protect vulnerable newborns. The boxes provide a secure and anonymous option for parents to surrender their newborn at designated locations across the state, such as hospitals or fire stations. Once a baby is placed inside the box, the exterior door locks automatically, and medical personnel can safely retrieve the infant through an interior access door. The Board of Commissioners allocated $10,000 from the discretionary budget to purchase the box, which will be installed at Fire Station Number 2 in Lovington, located at 1424 North 17th Street.
The Portales Walmart had a violation of the Liquor Control Act recently. A sale to minor operation took place on August 23rd, in which a 19-year-old minor operative was sold 24 ounces of beer at the Walmart. The location was cited for alcohol sale to a minor. On March 7th of 2025, Walmart accepted a settlement of $2,000 and a one-day suspension, of which they were able to choose. Walmart chose today. We reached out to Walmart for comment, but they would not take our calls.
Curry County is now offering free gun locks to community members. In partnership with the New Mexico Department of Health, Curry County is giving away these free handgun locks to everyone who wants one. They will also give you the number to the mental health hotline 988. Each person is limited to one lock, and you must be 18 years or older to receive one. You can pick them up anytime at the Curry County Administration Office at 417 Gidding Street, Suite 100, between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. through every Monday and Friday. There's only about 65 left, so if you're interested, don't hesitate.
Lately, much of New Mexico has been stuck with tragedy after tragedy. First the fires, and flooding in Ruidoso, and then the floodings in Roswell. Well, the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management has worked to help those impacted by natural disasters. Now, their disaster case management team is hosting what they call Contractor Connects. This event aims to help connect residents who were impacted by the flooding in October with licensed contractors in an effort to help residents begin the rebuilding process and avoid fraud. The event is free and open to the public, and there is no registration to attend. The event will take place at ENMU Roswell campus on April 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Coming up after the break, Lainey will have their full weather forecast.
But first, here's a look at today's financial market.
Welcome back to News New Mexico. I'm Lainey Carlock, here to take you through the weather. Today we're going to be looking at our U.S. map, as we always do, looking at the storm cells that are coming in, one coming towards Denver and New Mexico. That is going to be very important as we get in on the state, as well as one trying to move in towards Dallas and Houston area and New York and Washington. As we move in down towards the state, we're seeing that this storm is attempting to make its way to central New Mexico towards Albuquerque and especially those Sandia Mountains, where we have the red flag warning. This is very important because if the rain and precipitation does come, that means that the red flag warning has a chance of going away and becoming safer. So do be aware of that as it moves in. As for eastern New Mexico, we don't have much going on here, not even really any cloud coverage overall. It seems very calm and still, which personally I think is great. I have a couple of tips and tricks for red flag warnings, and I think it's important for everybody to know it as we may forget it when we're in a crisis situation. When a red flag warning comes across, or a watch, in which we're scared about fire, we want to make sure that we clean up debris, especially around our house and anything that may be flammable. You as well would want to have a go bag ready. It has essentials, water, food, IDs, social security cards, as well as clothes that can last for a day. This is very essential as it will help you survive after evacuating. Taking a look at our current temperatures, 77 in Albuquerque and 82 in Socorro. It's getting hot out there, guys. 89 in Roswell, 82 in Portales, as well as Clovis, and 86 in Hobbs, though I wish I was in Ruidoso because they got it at 70. Tonight's lows looking nice and chilly, which I appreciate, though it is chillier up at Gallup at 27 and Farmington at 35. Ruidoso is in a nice 43, with Roswell and Portales both at 47 and Clovis at 44. Tomorrow's highs are looking a little bit cooler around the state, but sadly not for the eastern portion. 63 in Gallup, 65 in Farmington. Going down into the eastern portion, 78 in Roswell and 76 in Portales, with Clovis at 1 degree below at 75. Looking at our 7-day forecast as we move into it for Roswell. We are seeing that there's going to be a little bit of wind on Tuesday, so do be aware of that, and some cloudiness on Saturday, in the 70s and 80s, dropping down into the 60s on Friday, and down in the 40s and 50s for our lows. For Carlsbad, we have windiness on Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. In the 80s and 70s, again dropping down to the 60s on Friday, and down in the 50s and 40s for our lows. Windiness on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for Tucumcari, dropping down in the 60s starting Wednesday, and possible precipitation on Friday. Portales coming in at the 70s and 83 on Tuesday, with windiness on Tuesday and Wednesday in the 40s and 30s for our lows.
You know, I'm not really looking forward to that wind,
It's not going to be nice.
but I mean, it's not too hot.
It's not horrendous. I'm glad that it's not in the 90s yet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm glad as well. So that's all we have right now, but we'll be back right after this break. You can go see a true Italian opera live in person.
Me personally, this opera is different. It's a lot more special because of the cast that's involved and because of the directors that are involved.
Located in Buchanan Hall in the Music Building at ENMU, the Department of Music will host their first showing of Les d'Amour, or The Elixir of Love, tonight, and their second tomorrow, both at 7 p.m. The opera tells a story of a poor young man who is deeply in love with a wealthy woman. Desperate for her, he goes and buys a love potion from a traveling quack doctor, only to find that it's fake. General admission tickets are $7, and tickets for students of ENMU are free. If this opera sounds like something you're interested in, you can go to enmu.edu/opera live to purchase the tickets, or you can buy tickets at the door starting at 6 p.m., availability permitting.
St. Patrick's Day has come and gone this month, but if you are still in that Irish mood, we have just the event for you. Cindy's Hope for Precious Paws in Clovis is hosting an adoption this Saturday entitled the St. Patrick's Day Adoption. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can go by the Clovis PetSmart and see all of the puppies, dogs, kittens, and cats of every age and size that they will have for adoption. All animals there are fully vetted, being up to date on all shots, along with being both fixed and microchipped. So if you've been thinking about getting yourself a new furry friend, head on down to PetSmart this Saturday to see if the Irish have granted you any last-minute wishes.
Coming up after the break, KJ will have his full sports report for you,
including highlights from last night's Texas Tech versus Arkansas game. So stay tuned.
Welcome back. I'm KJ Ford, and let's take a dive into the sports world. Eastern New Mexico baseball finished the weekend with a record-breaking performance in a 27-8 victory over Sul Ross State, bringing their overall record to 18-12 and its LSC record to 16-12. By winning all 4 games, the Greyhounds were able to sweep the series against the Lobos. Over the course of the 4 games, ENMU scored 85 runs in total. The last game, ENMU batters capitalized on 4 batters getting hit by the pitch and 8 walks. 9 different hitters contributed to their 26 hits by the end of the game. Throughout the contest, 8 different hitters had multiple hits. Eastern New Mexico comes back home for its next games, opening up a 4-game series with Oklahoma Christian. The first game of the series is in just a few moments at 6 p.m. against the Eagles. The Portales Rams baseball team won Friday's tournament game against Gallup by a score of 11-0. The Rams were able to score 2 quick runs in the first inning. They scored 4 runs in the second and 4 runs in the third inning. After holding the Bengals to another scoreless inning, the Rams added an additional run to extend the lead even further and end the game in the 5th inning. The Rams are now 2-4 this season. They will take on Roswell on Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. This Saturday is the 2025 Greyhound Open for men's and women's track and field at Eastern New Mexico University. The Hounds just finished a weekend in which both squads divided. One team of Hounds attended the University of Arizona Willie Williams Classic. The other crew attended West Texas A&M's West Texas Relays. After the first 2 meets, the Greyhounds hold 3 NCAA Division II provisional marks. The women's 4x1 of Griselle Scarlett, Riley Maggette, Gabriella Elizadell, and Jodian Stewart finished the Willie Williams Classic with a 46.43 second time. The sprint is tied for 10th nationally. The men's 4x4 of Trey Buchanan, Elijah Davis, Kyler Joe, and Timothy Federick earned a time of 3 minutes and 13.26 seconds. At the Willie Williams Classic, they rank 7th among 4x4 squads nationally. For a second straight season, Kennedy Omar has thrown a provisional mark in the discus. She tossed 46.65 meters at the Willie Williams Classic and ranks 4th in the nation. Devin Erickson now holds the school record in the 100-meter hurdles with a time of 14.72 seconds. She completed the feat at the Willie Williams Classic. Erickson now holds both the short sprint hurdle event school records in indoor and outdoor. The freshman has the 6th fastest time among Lone Star Conference runners in the event this season. She will compete in the 100-meter hurdles and the 200-meter at the Greyhound Open Saturday. The meet begins at 10 a.m. with shot put, javelin, long jump, and the women's 500-meter. New Mexico State, West Texas A&M, Lubbock Christian, Oklahoma Panhandle State, and Wayland Baptist will compete in the meet. The first overtime game of the March Madness tournament took place last night after a 13-point comeback from Texas Tech over my Arkansas Razorbacks, who previously knocked off St. John's and the University of Kansas. With just a few minutes left in the ballgame, it appeared the legendary Coach Cal-led Razorback squad were going to move on to the Elite 8 and send the Red Raiders home. Darian Williams had a different plan for Texas Tech. After Williams tied the game with the 3-pointer in the final seconds of regulation, Williams made the game-winning shot with 7.3 seconds remaining in overtime to help Texas Tech defeat Arkansas 85-83 on Thursday night. The Red Raiders will now take on the Florida Gators, who are a 1 seed tomorrow at 4:09 p.m. Well, that's all the sports I have for you today, but don't change that channel. We'll be right back after the break with Drake and Thomas.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
And good night.